Hey guys, welcome to my second lab video of EE542, and I think this one will be much shorter than the previous one because this is still just following the guide, and I think it's a little easier than the previous one. And the first step is to configure the AWS cloud server, and the first step we need to do is that by the way, all the step I need to do in the first few parts is all about the on this website, which is AWS console dashboard. And I finally actually I need to set up three instances, but I need to first get one VPC, and then I need to run the three instances on this VPC. This one, the lab 2, is the one that I set up for this lab. And then for the subnet part, I set up 4 subnets, which is this for lab 2, network 1, network 3, 4, and 2. And they are all configured with the proper network address and the subnet mask. And then the route tables, also set up this one for lab 2, this one, and internet gateway, and I also set up this one for my lab 2. And finally I need to apply for 3 elastic IPs for the 3 instances that I will apply actually later. I will show you, which is here. I set up 3 instances, which is 3 virtual machines, and one of them, which is this one, lab 2 instance, this should be called lab 2 router, and it's installed with vBy OS on it, and actually it's free and with a special method. And then I set up these 2 virtual machines, which is installed with Ubuntu 18 on it, and then I configured with elastic IP address and bind them to the 3 instances so that I can use the SSH environment to have access to those 3 instances remotely. And this is what I did here, and I show you. And the final topology here should be like this, at the 3rd page show you. And then I do the lot of things on it, the testing, and I will show you first what I did at the final, because the IP address are limited. The number of the IP addresses are limited, so I have to return the elastic IP address to the AWS just after I finished using it. And next time, if I want to use another elastic IP address, they will be different. And here's the screenshot, like this. I release them, and then shut down all my virtual machines, the instance. And that is the final part. That is the last part, and I will show you what I did on the AWS instance. I first try to connect to the 3 instances with SSH command. Of course, I have already configured them properly and download the authorization key. I don't know the word, but it should be kind of that things. And then I update the list so that I can install something with sudo apt-get install on it, and then I installed IPERF3 and then try to I first try to ping and trace route command on it, so that I confirm, so that I can make sure I first, since I already have the access remotely to the 3 instance, and I try to, since they are connected in the same although different subnet, and but they are connected with each other through the router. So I try to use the ping command from the client machine to the server machine. The IP address here, the 10.0.1.232, I think this should be the IP address of the server virtual machine. So I did that on the client machine, and it works. So that means the client and the server are connected properly with the router, which is installed with VYOS on it. And then I use the iperf3 and try different command on it with different parameters like this to config with a delay and loss rate, both on the client side and server side, and that's the result. And then I try some other commands like this, and this didn't work. Of course, it cannot work, and it's correct. It should not work, because this is just at least a platform as a service. The infrastructure is not mine, and I cannot change the speed, of course. And the final part is the question, and I have already answered it in the document that I have uploaded. Just those things, and that's all the part, I think. And I will briefly explain the answer of the questions. The first question of the 15, can you answer why SSH goes down if IP change on that interface? Because when the IP address of the virtual machine change, the filtering rule or the security rules that connect to the IP address will have to change accordingly. For example, if the IP address changed and that IP address only allowed, there's a filter, there's a firewall, and only allow some specific IP address to connect with that IP address, which is bind to the virtual machine. And as long as the IP address of that virtual machine changed, I have to reconfigure the security rules or the filtering rules of that virtual machine, so that the SSH can work again. And the next question, what can be used in UI? Let's start. Oh, I did that use. Let's see here. Oh, I just need to configure the DHCP in the AWS console, the dashboard, and then they will get a dynamic IP address from AWS server. If the interface letter is not, oh, that's not the question. How is that? Oh, they use NAT MKT, which is network address translation, and port address translation, if I'm correct. They just translate from since the number of the IP address is limited, and they only have one IP address allocated to me, and but the NAT device has so many ports, so they can allocate each port to the device which is connected to it. And that's this question. Oh, that's all the question. Okay, thank you, see you next time.